going to show us is a fabulous living food salad. It's a mung bean.
It's mung bean sprouts,
Mung bean
yes.
sprout salad.
Yeah.
So what I did, so a lot of you are going to ask me, Seema, how do you sprout your mung bean? So what I do is I take about a cup of green mung beans and I soak them overnight. Okay, I wash them and soak them overnight. And the next day I wash them again because in Hong Kong with the heat, they get a little foamy and fermented. Strain them and add them into your bowl. Just take about 2 or 3, we call it cheetahs, or little sprinkles of water.
Yeah.
Cover it and leave it overnight or for 2 nights, depending how long you want your sprouts to be, how long the tail.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you can store them in the refrigerator.
And they keep for a good few, well, at least
2 or 3 days.
At least 2 or 3 days.
And they do grow a little
Yes,
in
they
the
do.
fridge as well, you know. They're living foods.
Yes.
So they're alive at all stages, okay? Then what we have here is we have some coriander, dhania, cilantro,
Yes.
some mint for the freshness, and chickpeas or garbanzo beans, white garbanzo beans or chickpeas for the high fiber content and zinc. You were telling me?
Exactly.
And you were saying healthy fats, right?
Well, that's the right balance. And of course, to top it off, we have the nuts. We've combined almonds and pistachios today.
Almond and pistachios.
Yes.
You know, I love this salad because you were speaking about immunity
building.
properties, and we're talking about lacto-fermented foods.
Yes.
So we have lacto-fermented onions here.
Which you've actually done. Maybe you can tell them how you did that.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So you just, slice up a whole load of red onions and ginger and garlic if you wish. Pack it tightly into a jar, top it up with salted water. I can put the recipe on the link if you want. And you leave them out for a few days. Few bubbles come up, and when you put them in the fridge, they still ferment further in the fridge, a slow fermentation.
Yes. And this is actually quite important because to the salad, not just the living side of it, but because when we talk about immunity, immunity really begins from the gut. If your gut is not balanced, having the probiotics, prebiotics, so lacto-fermented foods, it's a big one. Fermentation in our, again, going back to Kenya, we were raised with pickles, our moms doing that in our kitchen.
In the backyard.
In the backyard.
Mango.
We were grown up with it. And even sort of just turmeric. I remember my mom used to cut it up and we used to keep it in a jar at home with some lemon and salt. Just preserved stuff. It's just we all grew up with all this, but no one knows the nutritional value about it.
Exactly.
So what's the big benefit about this? One, it's immune building from your gut. Two, when you fall sick, we all sort of resort to medicine, but because you have the goodness of the probiotics and the microbiome in your tummies are protected, so it really does protect you going forward and keeping the good bacteria inside you for a longer time.
They say your brain is in your gut.
Yes, that's
And the other thing is, once you have these probiotic-rich foods and you cleanse your system, you get a lot more serotonin.
Yes.
And you sleep better. And I'm a living proof of that.
Yes, no, exactly.
Since I started, fermented coconut yogurt, I do my own kraut.
Right?
So I do
that's
purple
yes.
kraut and I do with chilies
Chilies.
and garlic.
Yes.
And caraway seeds.
Yes.
Ajwain. Or you can do green cabbage kraut.
Mm-hmm.
You can add peppers into it. You can also shred up your turmeric and add it
Yes.
to your kraut. So you can ferment your turmeric with your kraut.
Kraut.
It's wonderful.
It's a really nice, and even when you eat it with certain foods, it does bring up a whole new level of flavor in your meals.
Just a tiny little
Yes.
bit on the side makes a whole world.
You don't need a lot,
difference.
it's just in a small amount.
Less is always more.
More, yes.
So shall we get
Yes.
started? I forgot to tell you, we have the tomato, we have the olive oil, pepper and salt, and
Dates.
so that balance the tartness, right?
Yes, it does. And the good thing about dates is, again, it's rather than adding honeys and sweeteners into your salads, dates, naturally, it's a very, the blood glycemic index is maintained. It's very good in terms of blood sugar levels. So again, you're focusing on releasing the sugars into the body slowly. So it's
iron.
And iron. It's a big one on iron. So yes.
And today we're using the humble calamansi lime.
Yes.
So we have an abundance of these in Asia.
Asia.
Of course, we live in Hong Kong. We're 2 Kenyan girls living in Hong Kong. And whenever we meet each other, all we do is talk about home.
Home. It resonates. It's
Home,
brilliant.
going to Mara, Mombasa,
Yes.
Mohoko. and everything that takes us back home.
And it's especially with, well, just sprouted foods, it's just something that lives in our kitchens every time. And
we're from the land of Hakuna Matata.
That's it. And that's how we should be living. No worries. Yes.
And just one more time, we miss you back home.
Yes, we do.
So Rajal's going to show us this lovely salad.
Right, it's just a case of, well, as Seema mentioned, sprouting, actually not just with the salad, I sprout even my lentils. It's good with your grains, lentils, it's important to sprout because it keeps the, well, phytonutrients in your gut, releases them so that you can digest it better, especially with lentils, pulses. Some people, yes, you know, they say, oh, it doesn't digest well with me. Always think about soaking them, sprouting them overnight. Nuts as well, because it's a big benefit again with living food.
Nutrient dense.
Very nutrient dense. So we're gonna put, I think this is probably
quinoa
is another one.
Quinoa.
Yes, I do it as well.
Ancient grains.
Yes.
You know, they talk about the ancient grains. You can sprout the ancient grains.
Exactly.
And you bring whole
another level of nutrition into it. So we're gonna add, I think how much was this? About a cup, I think? About a cup. So we'll add these sprouts in this bowl. We've got the cilantro, the coriander, dhania, as everyone else knows. And coriander is something that I just keep in my kitchen all the time.
I love coriander. I can't live without it.
No, and there's some people who do not like the taste of coriander. I think some people find it's a soapy taste. So you can use other parsley is a good one. Mint, well, we're using mint here. Dill is another nice herb that we can. Any herbs you have in your kitchen, you don't have to limit it just to the coriander. I mean, play with your foods.
Each herb has a healing element.
Especially so.
Plant medicine. It's all plant.
It's all about herbal medicine. And I've just added the mint, which is a cooling effect with the summer months here. As Seema mentioned, these are the garbanzo or chickpeas as we know them. Very nutrient dense, the salad.
And these are not canned, by the way. We use nothing canned.
So they're again the sprouted.
It's a Pranayum kitchen, so we soak them overnight and then we boil them up the next morning. And I always tend to keep a few in my fridge because I know by lunchtime they'll be gone. They either turn into a hummus or they'll be cooked into a salad. So they're cooked in the morning at about 8 and by 12 they're all finished.
Exactly. It's all, and we've actually, I mean, you soak them and you keep them overnight. For the salad today, we probably use about 2-3 tablespoons, depending on your volume of how many people you're serving. This is just a small salad. And we've used about 1 chopped tomato. Tomatoes are, again, why do they say look inside of a tomato when you cut it? Because when you do cut the tomato, it looks like a chambers of the heart.
That's what I read.
Yes, and that protects, tomatoes are good for the
heart health.
Yes.
And they have lycopene.
Yes, they do.
Lycopene.
They do. Right, we're gonna add some of these beautiful nuts, almonds, again the good fats, so balancing out with the pistachios as well. And it's a nice texture, so a lot of people say salads. I do use walnuts as well sometimes. It does add, you've got to think salads, you don't want them to just get soggy and based with the
hazelnuts.
Exactly,
Pecans?
so use, pecan nuts as well. And this is our lovely pickled onions.
And you're going to use the juice and all?
Just a little bit of the juice. There we go.
An onion is as per your taste.
As per your taste. Do you like a lot or shall we?
If someone, I love onions.
You love onions,
if someone doesn't like onions, could they substitute it with
You could use this sauerkraut. You can even use spring onions, a milder form, right? So there's other options.
But you want something that's fermented.
Fermented, so definitely sauerkraut is a good one. So that's something that would definitely be worth.
Great.
And in goes our gorgeous dates. Again, dates bringing me back to home because we use, well, with the Kenyan culture, there's a mix of cultures there, as we mentioned before. So we use just a couple of dates here, just 2 chopped dates.
We're a mix of cultures and we all live in perfect
harmony.
Because we have Hakuna Matata.
Exactly. And there we go. And then we finish it off with the black pepper.
And the calamansi.
And the calamansi.
Any olive oil?
A little bit, yes, please, yes. We definitely
and I love your choice of crunchy sea salt. That's
wonderful. I think that's, and you know, that's another, I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit.
Yes.
It is. It does, a lot of people use different types of salt. So I in my kitchen have pink Himalayan salt, plus I do have the rock salt, which is a delicious balance.
Yes. As well.
Table salt, not so much. I think I'm conscious about sort of how, what the elements are behind that. But talking about probiotic food, now I have a 4-year-old son, and I think it's very important. A lot of moms forget about their children's tummies, and it's always important to add the probiotic elements in them. I do use a supplement for him, but I do use things like yogurt, obviously pickled onions and all this. He won't take to it, but I have started giving him pickled turmeric with our Indian food, and he likes the flavor of it. Salty, and it balances out. So it's a good one. And Seema has actually started, tell us a little bit about, is it the Prana Mama? Which is where hence I brought in my 4-year-old, because I was like, this is something that's probably ideal for you to talk about, and what your new chapter is about. Yes.
I'm a mama, and I have a 19-year-old daughter and a 16-year-old daughter. They always say, Mommy, we're big girls now. I said, but no matter what you do, no matter what you say, Mommy will always be Mommy.
Yes.
Yeah? And you will always be my babies. And they're like, oh gosh, she goes again. So Prana Mama is a page on Instagram, and it's mamas for mamas. So a lot of us as mamas get very consumed, with our daily lives. We have the children, we have the home. A lot of us hold part-time jobs, full-time jobs. We're balancing the house, looking after our husbands, then we're daughters.
Yes.
We're a sister, we have brothers, we have sisters, and we have so many roles to play, and we have many hats to carry. So Prana Mama is is a page on how do you get that extra prana into your life. It could be eating healthy, exercising, going to the gym, having a massage. How do you get that prana, that self-love? What do you do to take time out for yourself? Do you go out with your friends? It's a community where we can all come together. We can laugh, we can cry, we can meditate, do yoga, go out for morning coffees, have afternoon teas. It's just for us mamas, for mamas. So if you're interested, have a look.
I
on
definitely
Instagram,
will be
that Prana Mama. And this Prana Mama is going to eat now.
Here you go. Have a taste and let me know what you think.
Taste.
Smells very gorgeous. This is so good. The crunchiness from the nuts. It's very balanced. It's not overpowering in terms of the calamansi, the pickled onions. They're just, it really brings it all together.
So fresh.
The sprouts are really, again, it's a nice summer salad to have in your kitchen for one of those meals that you like.
I was always skeptical before about having sprouts, and I always thought they would taste too raw and too lengthy. But this is just right, and I got a big piece of date in, and
the balance, yes.
The chickpea, the softness of the chickpea, the slight bite of the green mung beans.
Yes. And then the pistachio and the almonds, they really bring it together. I would say when you cook, I always am a believer of sweet, sour, salt, and bitter. Bitter is a little bit, yes, completely. You've got to keep those 4 intact, which will bring your flavors all sort of together when you're cooking a meal. And on that note, I'm definitely going to be signing up on the Prana Mama. Just check it out.
Thank you very much.
Because as a mom of a 4-year-old, honestly,
you need that prana.
You need that prana to keep you going and to be a better person for yourself and your family. So it is very important.
Bless you. And on another note, I want to first of all say thank you so much, Asante Sana.
Thank you for having me, and I'm glad we're able to share this. And we're going to be getting together.
We're going to be getting together a lot more often, where we're going to share with you recipes on how to get more, to be that Prana Mama, and
yes,
more prana into your life through your diet and into your children's life. Some secret recipes where a mother can be deceptive yet create delicious dishes for her children. For example, make a porridge with beetroot, or make a chapati with spinach. A lot more dishes for you. We're going to take you back home, and we're going to share some lovely simple Kenyan recipes with you.
And things that I think it's just also sharing food plus the knowledge of how it heals you and nourishes you, bringing your prana into life and your chi into your life, and creating a beautiful community through you guys who will support us, and just learning to
Have
enjoy
ancient
that.
wisdom.
Yes.
Getting those techniques that your grandma taught you. That
Go back to your
Pranayum,
roots.
going
That's
back to your
exactly,
roots,
because
back
that
to
is what,
basics.
that's where we all, when we're feeling like I'm missing food from home, that's a calling because that's what you were raised on.
In Kenya, we still have a lot of foods that are back to basics.
Yes.
Like we have the simple luka or cassava. It's just boiled sometimes,
Yes.
and they bung it in coconut milk, or they just fry it lightly and add some salt and
Salt and
chili.
chili. And it
Something
still is.
so simple, and
Yes.
it's so delicious. Or you have the sweet potato, you have taro, we have sukuma wiki,
Leaky. Yes.
we have maize meal, we have
And there's so much you can do with that food. It doesn't need to be as bland or boring as it sounds.
then we've got Chinese food. We live in Hong Kong, and with TCM we've got the ginger, and then you've got the lemongrass sometimes.
And the goji berries, which enhance, which is yes, a big antioxidant, which,
And then they pickled kumquat.
yes. Pickling in Asia is big. Fermentation with their,
Fermentation is
Yeah.
huge here,
Yeah.
and they do it very good.
yes, they do.
Yeah.
So
Japanese.
yes, Japanese, the umesh,
Koreans,
the
kimchi.
plum, exactly. And all the pickles of the Japanese food is
So
being
yummy.
used, the plums,
Horseradish.
horseradish. It's delicious.
Yeah.
Well, stay tuned and keep it real. And we'll
See
be
you
seeing you
soon.
soon. And Koheri. And we love you guys and miss you guys.
Asante sana.
Asante sana.
Thank you very much.
See you.